Did you know that a famous piece of music was inspired by a real train crash? And not just any train crash. 2 giant steam trains crashed into each other on purpose in front of thousands of people. Today, we're learning the unbelievable story behind the Great Crush Collision March by Scott Joplin. Scott Joplin was one of America's most famous composers. He became known as the King of Ragtime because he wrote energetic music with exciting rhythms that made people want to tap their feet. You may have heard some of his famous pieces before, like the Maple Leaf Rag or The Entertainer. But one of his most unusual pieces was inspired by a shocking real-life event in Texas. In the late 1800s, trains were incredibly important in America. Railroads connected cities, delivered supplies, and helped people travel much faster than before. For many Americans, trains represented progress, adventure, and the future. In 1896, a railroad company in Texas came up with a very unusual idea. They decided to hold a giant public event where 2 steam trains would crash into each other on purpose. They even built a temporary town just for the event. People traveled from all over Texas to see this event. More than 40,000 people came to watch. It felt like a big festival. Bands played, vendors sold food, and everyone waited for the big moment. Can you even imagine being there? Finally, the 2 trains started moving towards each other. Faster and faster and faster until crash. The trains smashed together exactly as planned. The crowd cheered as smoke and debris flew into the air. But then, something unexpected happened. The steam boilers exploded. Pieces of metal flew through the air, and many were injured. Sadly, several people died. After the accident, people realized how dangerous this stunt really was. Today, the crush collision is remembered as one of the most unusual events in railroad history. Soon after this event, Scott Joplin wrote a piece called The Great Crush Collision March. His piano music captures the excitement, movement, and drama of the famous train crash. This is an example of music inspired by a real story or event. As you listen, you may hear sounds and rhythms that remind you of trains racing down the tracks. As you listen, become a music detective. Can you hear the excitement of the trains? Fast rhythms, loud sounds, and dramatic musical moments? Notice how the music changes in energy and mood. Imagine the 2 giant steam trains racing toward each other on the tracks. Now, it's time for super quiet, uninterrupted listening time. Sit quietly, listen carefully, and imagine the story as the music plays. Think about what the music made you picture in your mind. Was there a part that sounded the most exciting? Did any part sound like a train? Enjoy listening to The Great Crush Collision March by Scott Joplin. Thank you for joining me for this SQUILT Musical Moment. Don't forget to subscribe for more music appreciation adventures for children and families. And remember, great music always has a story to tell.